Unpacking Dogen's Genjokoan. Episode 2. Subject and Object. First, what do we even mean by unpacking? We can define unpacking as the intense scrutiny of traditional Buddhist and Zen texts. A scrutiny that often breaks down the texts, sentence by sentence, term by term, and occasionally word by word. And why even unpack at all? Because not all of us have the opportunity to regularly engage with a living, breathing, enlightened teacher. Understanding that in the Zen tradition, it's this engagement that substitutes for the critical reading of the traditional texts. And so, for those who don't have the opportunity to regularly engage with a living teacher, there must be a return to the traditional texts as teacher. And with that return is the understanding that the texts are best approached as sequences of riddles, or perhaps as sequences of landmines. And these riddles must be reconciled, these landmines cleared, if we are to truly make progress. Let's begin. Consider the following text from Dogen Genjokoan, a letter to a disciple. To carry the self forward and illuminate myriad things is delusion. That myriad things come forth and illuminate the self is awakening. Those who have great realization of delusion are Buddhas. Those who are greatly deluded about realization are sentient beings. Further, there are those who continue realizing beyond realization, and those who are in delusion throughout delusion. When Buddhas are truly Buddhas, they do not necessarily notice that they are Buddhas. However, they are actualized Buddhas, who go on actualizing Buddha. And in aiding in the unpacking of this brief excerpt, we might consider a handful of questions. First, what does Dogen mean by carrying the self forward to illuminate myriad things? And why is this considered delusion rather than awakening? Next, how does the reverse movement, myriad things coming forth to illuminate the self, redefine awakening in terms of activity, agency, and perspective? Why does Dogen say that those who have great realization of delusion are Buddhas? What does it imply about the relationship between realization and delusion? What is the significance of the statement that Buddhas do not necessarily notice that they are Buddhas? How does this challenge common ideas of spiritual attainment or self-awareness? And finally, Dogen distinguishes between continuing to realize beyond realization and being in delusion throughout delusion. How might this illuminate the difference between practice as ongoing activity versus practice as the pursuit of a final state or achievement? And so we've gotten started on Dogen's Genjokoan. More to come.